men and women are not equal in every aspect. For example, let's say we are equal in certain rights, such as, for example, right to leave, right to be respected, and let's say seeking knowledge and these things. We are, let's say, equal in these part. But for example, there are also we are not the same physically, mentally, even spiritually. So each gender had its own unique and, let's say, responsibility, I think. And I think the article have kind of the same idea, but I don't know. It
Okay,
was
that's
not very, very new for me.
sure, sure. It was good enough.
Mhm.
So basically, you say there are certain rights that all of us share despite the genders, and there are
Yes,
different roles and responsibilities that a gender does better than the other gender in certain responsibilities.
exactly.
But let me
Exactly.
tell you, I am following the Western medias and platforms and mentalities, and I'm gonna say that 50 and above% are going to disagree with you in the Western world. But in the Middle East and in the Islamic countries, for sure, what you're saying is in alignment with the traditional religious believers. But for the West, they have this idea of um, equal outcome, so to speak. That what a man
Hmm.
does, a woman can do as well, right? So, and when a woman,
Exactly.
that's vice versa, right? And this is we're going to be talking about how sort of unhealthy in creating a balanced society.
Mm, right.
Okay, thank
Great.
you so much for sharing with us, Ms. Demi.
Okay.
What about you? Ms. Demi?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to share regarding the article?
Yeah, as far as I understand it, in like God created us in two genders, and each one of us, man and woman, we have to shine our our traits and protect it, and don't imitate the other gender.
Mhm. Okay. So we have roles that we should not imitate and say that we can do it better. I mean, look around yourselves. I'm assuming you're all surrounded by buildings and infrastructure, right? Uh, I was talking about black tea. Black tea. Yeah, black tea. Okay, I appreciate it. Uh, sorry. So it's surrounded by buildings and infrastructures that I'm assuming needs physical strength, right? You need force to create a city, isn't it? Like it's very difficult, to be honest, to create like 12-story towers and huge buildings. It requires physical strength, and hence we have houses. But man is going to do that. 99% of all the rubbles and stones and buildings are created by man. But
Right.
I don't think there is a single building or house that is turned into a home by a man. So the house is for the man and the home is for the woman. So they complete the whole
Hmm.
picture.
Right.
So a home without a mother, without a wife, without like daughters, without the female soul is going to be, I would say, disorganized. It doesn't feel like home. I mean, I'm at a school, high school, which is a boys' high school this year, and the table and the desk of the, men's desk. What do you assume is going to be? What do you think it looks like?
Mm, like it's separated.
No, no, it's only men teachers. What do you think the desk look like? Like the things on the desk. Do you think it's going to be super organized and or the vice versa? Like your initial intuition.
So, according to that, it's just a boy. I think it's not, let's say that organized.
Definitely. So you can see that the cables are in different places. There are papers like this, papers like this. Nothing is sort of
Exactly.
nothing is organized. Like it's so dry. And there are two women teacher that the other day they brought flowers to the school. Okay. And I first
Oh.
initially asked the principal of the school, why don't you get some flowers? He said, we're all men, we don't need it. And then they brought it,
Oh.
yeah, and they made it into like it feels more like home right now. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And by the
Right.
way, here is snowing. So sort of I need some, hot drinks in order to keep myself a little bit more. Okay. So, Ms. Nermi, anything?
Thank you, teacher. No.
Okay, no. All right. So without being said, there are going to be a lot more in the passages as we unpack it, as we unravel it. Okay. So let's get right into it. All right. So we're going to ask Ms. Nermi to read the first paragraph. Go ahead.
We know that we do not win unto the intrinsic dignity of the actualized human essence through the sheer fact of our possession of this unique composite nature, but rather by correctly ordering the various aspects of our nature through the appropriate exercise of our self-determining individual free will.
In order to become an actualized human being, actualized essence, like Ahsan al-Taqweem in the Quran, we have it. We need to use our free will and order the various aspects of our nature. You know, we have three main aspects in our soul. One is called the rational soul. Every human has the rational soul that is related to thinking. The other part is the emotional soul that is related to emotions and not to thinking or reason. And the other is appetitive that is related to desire and instinct. So, which one do you think should be put at the top in order to be an organized, actualized human essence? We have the rational soul, the emotional soul, the appetitive desire soul.
Mm-hmm. So what was your question?
My question is, how do you organize it in a hierarchy?
Mm.
I think the rational soul is the top and
Okay, the
then
rational
emotional.
soul should be at the top. Like, look at our bodies. The brain is here, the heart is here, and the desire are in the abdomen and down below, right? In order for you to be balanced, then you have to put the mind at the top, and then the heart and the feelings grounded in the mind, and then desires for food, for procreation, and so on. Okay? So this is an old methodology that was used by Plato and then by Aristotle. Have you heard of these two philosophers?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the three aspects of human nature. Then we have disembodied beings. Embody means berjastabu. Disembodied, wata tulajastanami. I mean, you imagine yourself without limbs, without hands, without fingers, without hearing, seeing, like without any of your embodiment physical parts, then you're going to get to the soul, so to speak. Disembodied, but we're not disembodied, right? We are embodied in a body. We have a soul and a body, and it interacts with each other. Okay, Miss Mijda, go ahead from to be a human.
To be a human is to be one or the others of two complementary, mutually completing against of the generative love that is inescapably and intrinsically, right?
Intrinsically.
Intrinsically binary. In the experience of this
Okay, so
most.
what is binary?
Mhm.
What does binary mean?
I don't know.
Two means
Do
to be a human, you're
Hmm.
either one of the two complementary agents, means female and male. So you have to
Right.
you're going to be either one, and to be a human is intrinsically two, binary. It's not three. It's not like an infinite amount of self-identification. Like in the West, I'm sure you have seen videos about people identifying as rats, RAT, in the subways, right? They identify
Right.
as cats, as dogs, as all of these things. But we are two fundamentally. It cannot be more than that. Okay, continuous in the experience.
In the experience of the most principles of the human's embodiment, namely that every human being's could you every human being's instinctive one
Instantiates
Instantiate when and only when among only two genders, an experience that each of us has simply by virtue of being human.
instantiate واتە instanceەکەی ئەکا instance واتە نمونە واتە نمایندەی دەکا بەجەستەی ئەکا so you guys right now you instantiate the feminine soul both of you participate in the soul of the feminine okay and I instantiate the masculine. This is what instantiate means, okay?
We can, let's say, kind of that represented, right?
Represent, excellent, yeah. Represents, instantiate, a synonym, okay? So then we have embedded, what a bit, okay? Something that is embedded in something. Like you say, female and male are embedded in the human essence. To be human is you're embedded in one of these two genders.
Right.
Okay? And have you heard of Ibn Arabi? Ibn Arabi?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So, Ms. Nermi, what about you?
Yeah, I read about it. I think
Okay.
he's a philosopher.
Yeah, so he was one of the greatest, the biggest, most influential philosophers and Gnostics of the Islamic history. He was so genius that anybody who claims to understand him actually doesn't understand him. So he was a Gnostic, an Arif. So we have Arif and philosopher. Philosopher thinks by the mind. The Arif people think by the heart. Okay? So this guy was basically a genius. And he talks about the masculine soul that males participate. Imagine masculinity and femininity being principles that we participate in. Our soul participates in it. It is larger than human bodies. يعني بنماي femininity masculinity بنمايكي metaphysical سرو فيزياو جستا معنا كالروح مانتيا بجاري أكا تيجي واي قولة فرمي القرآن هموش تيكم مزوج دروس كده وزوجين وهذا إما ونيا خومان كومان قاعد دروسي كاي لم تجشتو بمان درك كوية كومان قاعد دروسي ناكا أبي خومان رادستي أو حقيقة بين كلا درو يجستا معنا كلا ناو بان معنا كابتشينا نا أو فورمو لو فورما دون خوشي معنا يسا كاسك بۆ نمونە ئافرەتێک لە ئەوروپا زۆر دڵی خۆش نییە بەڕای منە زۆریش باسێکن چونکە بێ وەکو پیاوێک ئیشکەن وەکو پیاو جل لەبەرکەن ئەن هەست بە ڕۆحی خۆیان زۆر ناکەن بەڵام لە کوردستان و لە مەنتیقەکانی خۆمانە ڕاستی زیاتر هەست بە فێمینینتی خۆی وە پیاوێکش بە هەمان جۆر ئینجا ئەو ئەبین عەرەبیە ئەڵێ ماسکیلن سۆڵ فعالە بکەرە لو دقت بن باوكتان بون من قبراتان هبد هذا من إيشا كان حزن إيشا حزن منافسة وانيا أما تندي قدالة شو دوتانا
Yes.
اما شتێکی زۆر زۆر سروشتی فیتری پیاوە ینی لە قورئانیشا نەفەقە لەسەر پیاوە بیکێشێ پیاو قەوامە ئەو شانەی کە بەکارێن واتە پیاو وزەیەکی تیا کە بەرەو سەرکردایەتیکردن بڕوانی تر لە پارەپیاکردنا بێ لە پاراستنە بێت و ئافرەتی زیاتر وەرگرە منفعیلە و تا ئافرەتێک چەندێک وەرگرتر بێ پیاو ئەتوانێت باشتر بکرد ئەم دوانە یەکتری کۆمپلمنتێک کەوتان کۆمپلمنت لەسەرتاوازم مشتە تۆ باس دەکەوت کۆمپلیت یەکتر دەکەن کۆمپلیتەکە لەوایە ئەگەر سەر بۆ من دیقەت بن لە عایلێکە ژنێک بڵێ نەخێ منیش وەکو تۆ سەر بەخۆم و ئەبێت دەخلی خۆم هەبێت و لە تۆ باشترم ئەو پیاوە بەعام لە سەدا نەوتنی حەز بە ئیسراحەت ناکات هی ئەوەی کە ئافرپاری هەبێ بەسەر پیاوە بنە هی ئەوەی کە پیاوەکە وزەکەی لێ ئەدەی ئەو وزەی زۆری کە تایەتی ئەمە تۆ دیقەت بن لەم دنیایە ئەسا شەڕ زۆرە وانیە there are many war zones right
Right.
زۆربەی پیاوەیکە وانیە
Exactly, yes.
زۆربەی پیاوەیکە زۆربەی کوشتن و شار دروستکردن و یعنی وزەیەکی زۆر هەیە لەناو پیاوە ئەم وزەیە ئەبێ لە ڕێگەی وەرگرێکی باشەوە بۆیە پێغەمبەر صلی الله علیه و فەرمێ مارج نیوەی ئیمان ئەو ڕۆحە باڵانسەکە باڵانس نەبوو بە ناڕێکی گەورە ئەبێت و ئەکرێ زەری زیاتر okay this is it all right let's now continue from we do not choose.
We do not choose to be a man or a woman, and a further aspect of achieving human dignity that lies in fulfilling, with beautiful and beautifying excellence, ihsan, the role that we have been allotted precisely in having been thus created male or female.
The West focuses a lot on choice. A man feels like they're trapped in the body of a woman, so to speak. a man, they want to transition, right? The whole LGBT movement and these sort of weird and crazy ideologies, they think that they can choose to be the opposite gender, right? And choice for the West is the most important thing. When you hear about abortion, right? Killing babies and fetuses in the wombs of women, okay? There are pro-choice and there are pro-life. Have you heard of these two movements in the West? Pro-choice and pro-life? If
No.
if you haven't, it's gonna come to Kurdistan in a few years. No worries. Okay, just know it from this time, this period. The pro-choice movement focuses on the choice of the mother, even by killing the fetus and the baby in their wombs, so long as it is the mother's choice is good. So choice for them is very important. They can choose to be identified as a rat, as a dog, as the opposite gender. The transition is all based on choice and feeling. The civilization of the West is now they're basing their social life, their spiritual life on choice, on feeling. They feel like, a little girl feels like she's a boy. The parent, instead of saying that you're confused, the parents are going to say that, okay, let us explore together. And then they're going to provide the medical interjections later to transition. Okay? So far, so good. Are you following?
So you meant like, for example, it's their choice to choose their genders. Like,
Yes.
do you mean that?
Yes. They think that it is their choice to choose their gender however they feel, not think, however they feel, and feeling is at the top of everything. They don't believe in God anymore. I mean, for example, if you feel very angry, you have a knife, do you act out this anger? Do you act out on the feeling?
Do you what?
If you have a strong feeling of anger, you're really, really angry, and you have a knife, and you're angry at a
Okay.
person, for the West,
Okay.
feeling is justified. If you feel strongly about something, then you shouldn't lie to yourself. You should act it out. But for us, we should resist it.
Right.
Okay? So Islamic tradition is not about feeling, it's about what God says about your action. But for them, God is removed. The standard is their own self. Their self, their nafs, has become a new God. That's why they're going through all sorts of confusions and depressions and suicide and everything. The nafs.
Mm. Right.
Okay? Ms. Dilan, welcome. It's, it's actually weird. It's really glad that I didn't bring my car. It's snowing very hard. It's interesting at this time of the year. And I have always loved snow. It's sort of like a paradise to have discussions with the snowfalls. Okay, so whose turn is it now? Thank you. I think it's Miss Visha, is it your turn?
It's my turn if Miss Dylan didn't read it.
Yeah. Miss Dylan, can you
So,
read? Welcome. Miss Mishta, continue then Miss Dylan's turn. Go ahead.
okay. Less likely to be found tortuously theorizings about self-evident and natural, integral, human relatives than they were to be found actively embodying and fulfilling them.
Okay. Then we have ontological status. Have you heard of philosophy? Can somebody tell me what does philosophy stand for? It's okay. What does philosophy stand for? It's philosophy.
I think we mentioned it in the previous lecture, but
Yes.
I forgot it.
Please, come on. Take notes. Take some notes. Miss Demi, what about you? Miss Dilan?
Do you mean a love of wisdom?
Yes, love of wisdom. Okay. Now, philosophy has different branches. In linguistics, we have the branch of morphology, we have the branch of syntax, semantic, pragmatics, we have phonetics and phonemes, right? In philosophy, we have different branches. One branch is called epistemology. If you want to be a philosopher, then you have to be a good epistemological person. Means you have to justify what you know. You say, I know about God's existence. I know about this is true. I know about this is false. The way you have to ground and prove it. How do you prove and justify whatever you know? This is what? This is epistemology. Then we have ethics. What is right? What is wrong? What is correct? What is incorrect? What is morally justified? What is morally unjustified and evil? Okay? Ethics. Then we have philosophy of mind. Is my mind created out of chemical, electrical reactions in my brain? Okay? This is one branch of philosophy. Then we have a branch called ontology. Ontology means the study of being. Study of being. What is it to be a human? What is it to be an animal? Like a thing's existence. Like this cup has the characteristics of cupness, right? I can hold it, I can drink tea from it. It's different than a phone, right? They have different existences. This is ontology. This is the deepest study that the human mind can take. What is the nature of God? What is the nature of a human? What is the nature of a tree? Okay? Are you following?
Yes.
Okay. This is ontology. Then we have masquerading. Masquerading وقتا واخد در قبالم أجنبي. بنا من على چی? The spy masquerades as a journalist. Okay? واخد در قبالك journalist. Then we have self-determining individual. Self-determining individual. وقتا روش آوا ودو دلائي خوش ما دركه. بو اوی شتی determine کن شتی دیاری بکن که راسته بنا من تاکه بلین دو جندر مانیه زیاتر مانیه سه مانیه چهار مانیه ناتوانی فود transition كي تو معنا وش تك وات يعني اوكي اما قرينو بوتشي like in the Middle East where do we make a decision from this?
Islam, we move back to Quran.
We move back to the Quran and the sayings of the Prophet and reason. Okay, these three things. But for them, they don't go back to God. They go back to their feelings, what their self feels, that is going to determine what is right, what is wrong. If you see a baby being killed, if it makes you feel bad, then it's wrong. If it makes you feel good, then it's sort of okay. Okay. Self-determining individual. Then we have vindicate, but shtick what free of blame. Okay.
Prove
Free
to be
of blame.
right.
Yeah, to be right. So, I think Ms. Dylan says she cannot read. Ms. Nermin go from as such.
As such, the notion that gender is a social construct is a corridal utterance ubiquitous to the pathway voiced by the recipient of the most cutting edge of modern education that rarely thought out with philosophical rigor or justified by anything beyond grounds of relativistic compassion or the invocation of dogmatically arbitrary freedom.
Okay. Just give me a few seconds. Did I bring my charger? Hopefully so. Okay, so what about the meaning of ubiquitous? What does ubiquitous mean?
Like
Is
presented
present
or something found in everywhere.
Yes, commonplace. Okay, something that is everywhere. We say in English, it is ubiquitous. Okay, ubiquitous. And okay, I still have a few minutes before I connect to another internet so that we don't run out of it. Just give me a few seconds, please.
Take your time.
Let me charge my phone so that we're not going to be out of internet. It's a very important passage, but let me not get interrupted. I'll come back within a minute, okay? Stay there. Okay, everybody, I'm back. So let's continue. All right. The notion that gender is a social construct. Social construct means people in a society agrees to say this is a female and this is a male. And these are the roles of a female: to cook for the husbands, to raise a child, to be a mother, and so on. Okay. And then society agrees that these are called men, and they have a definite role. That is, I don't know, they are the head of a family, they make lots of money, they're stronger. And they say these are social constructs that we can change when a society agrees in the opposite. Okay, so let me give you an example of mathematics. If I say 3 plus 3 equals 6, is this a social construct or everybody has to be bound by it?
I think this isn't a social construct.
It's not a social construct. We cannot change. Even if you feel like, okay, 3 plus 3 equals 2. I feel like it. No. If you feel like it until 1,000 years, it's not going to change the fact that 3 plus 3 equals 6, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, then a social construct makes the thing relative. It's a dangerous thing. Means we can socially re-engineer the roles and the things we happen to believe in. Okay, social construct means it's just people agreed on it. There's nothing more very important about it. We can just change our genders. We can add more genders, like a spectrum. You might have heard of the phrase, right? Spectrum. Like gender is a spectrum. Like there are lots of genders. They, them, and these stupid things. Okay. All right, let's continue. I guess Miss Milan, Miss Dilan is not able to read. Nonetheless, you can still chat whatever questions you have or comments, please. Go ahead, Ms. Mishka.
Okay. Okay. The liberating truth offered by the tools of the Islamic tradition is the genders areas from both our animal natures and our angelic natures. Indeed, the animal natures as informed by the angelic nature. The generative love that area from the unions of the two genders principle is not merely the productions of children's self-evidently sublimes and moments as that is, but the cultivations of the world through the actualizations of complementary attributes that can only be obtained. Shall I go?
Yeah, no, wait here, pause here. So we have this very interesting idea. In Islam, we have a liberating truth that frees us from these confusions. And this is coming to look at the human as the meeting place of the animal and the angelic. From there, the animal part of us, that is the desires we have to sleep, to eat, right? The animalistic parts of us that God has put it for a purpose. This is going to be informed and subordinate by the angelic nature, the ahsan taqwa. Okay. Okay, then we have a generative love that arises from the union of the two gender principles. The two gender principles means the masculine and the feminine. In a proper marriage, these two gender principles are going to come into a union, not only to produce children, which is very sublime and noble and lofty and momentous, but the cultivation of the world through the actualization of complementary attributes. It's very important. God says in the Quran that we have created humans to be what? What are we doing on earth? What does God says in the Quran? God has put us on the earth as what?
Khalifa.
Khalifa. I'm sure you've all heard of it, right? Khalifa. Khalifa is translated into representative or vicegerent or steward. Okay. So basically, he says in the union of these two gender principles, that you can be a proper Khalifa when you actualize these complementary attributes. The complementary attributes of, the feminine attributes and the masculine attributes, when they're combined together, then these people are going to be balanced, and then they're going to bring the world into a better state. Okay? Have you heard of Stalin? Stalin, the Russian dictator. Stalin. Have you heard of it?
I haven't heard it.
Stalin و لينين معناتها بهان روسيا. They were like, Stalin was a contemporary to Hitler and Churchill. So Stalin, he loved a girl, his wife, and his wife died at the age of 22. He was 27. And from then on, he said, my heart has been abandoned and has been abandoned by softness. There's nothing soft left in me. And then he turns out to kill millions of people in his political reign, okay? So it's very important to get this balance. And in the remaining 3 minutes, let me teach you something very interesting. You've heard of the 99 names of God, right? The Aziz, the Mutakabbir, the Hakim, right? Al-Hakim,
Yeah.
Al-Alim,
Yes, of course.
Al-Rahim, right? So these 99 names are divided into two main categories. Each have under the categories. One category is called the names of God related to the father name of Jalal. So Jalal, do you think Jalal, majesty, is it a masculine or a feminine attribute?
I think it's masculine.
The masculine attribute, right? Jalal, is related to, masculine attribute, right? So the names of God being the just, okay, the God being the powerful, all of these names come under this category of the Al-Jalal that generally men represent. Okay? Then we have God's names Al-Beautiful, Al-Jamal, the names of the merciful, the generous, the nurturing, the guide. These are names of God, okay? They come under this umbrella term. So all the 99 names that are being revealed to us come under these two categories. And in the hadith, Prophet Muhammad says humans are created in the surah of God. So each one of us, has a limited ability to reflect, to manifest God's names and attributes in our particular gender. So for the ladies, you try to at your best to reflect the names that are related to the beautiful, the Jamal, right? And then the masculine are predominantly going to reflect the names of the just, the powerful, the stable, the qayyum, right? And then you are going to have a balanced package. You see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Okay. So I would recommend following the meanings of the names of God's attributes, okay? The meanings, and try to reflect it in your nature. You're going to be happy. People are talking about happiness. This is where real happiness is found. Try it and you will see the effects. This is according to Imam al-Ghazali. I'm sure you've all heard of it. That he says this is the key for human happiness. Okay, so in the coming session, Ms. Nemi, can you send it within 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay.